If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? Steve Jobs said that. He also said the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And this, what you see me doing here, this is not great work. This is repetition. This is a paycheck that is worth just enough to ensure that I show back up Monday morning. Now I'm not telling you to quit your job. That's for you to decide. I just had this footage of myself working, and when I started editing it, I felt the need to remind whoever needs to hear it that you're not a machine. You don't have to spend the majority of your life doing something that kills every great thing about you. You can do anything you want. And just like that, I'm off of work, finally. The little bit that you guys saw, that was nothing compared to what I actually did all night. But alright, first question comes from Brody, and it says, do you think you've ever really hated another person? If so, why? And do you think there's any chance of mending that hatred? Okay, here's my answer to that question. Yes, I have legit hated someone. I've hated many people, but here's the thing. With me, it doesn't tend to last long. I'm probably the most forgiving person you've ever met in your life. But when I'm mad, I'm really mad. When I hate you, I really hate you. It's probably the deepest form of hate that there is. But like I said, it doesn't last that long. I guess I could sum it all up from a movie quote. And it's one of my favorite movie quotes of all time from one of my favorite movies of all time. And here it is.
Well, my conclusion is, hate is baggage. Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. It's just not worth it.
Okay, John asks, evolution of man, God or science? Alright, rule number one in entertainment or / if you're trying to build any kind of following, no religion and no politics. So I'm just going to give this a really simple answer and say kind of both, but more towards the side of science. Alright, the next one comes from Jason, and it's actually a two-parter. The first part, do you ever plan on moving out of Northwest Indiana? Second part is follow-up question, where's your ideal place to live? Okay, first follow-up question, I answered that already in the last Q&A, or maybe it was 2 Q&As ago, I don't know. But real quick, Hawaii was my answer for that one. And do I plan to move out of Northwest Indiana? Eventually, absolutely yes. I'm definitely gonna move out of Northwest Indiana one day. Personally, I want to move to the city, at least to experience it. I'd like to experience it for a while, either Chicago preferably or New York. The whole tropical atmosphere, that's for later on in life when I will actually have time to enjoy it. But for now, I'd like to be in the shit, in the grind, in the big city where everything's happening. Definitely, that's where I'd like to be right now. Okay, Andy asks if you could become a movie character and switch lives with them, as in live the life of that character in that movie instead of yours, who would it be / what movie would you pick? Damn, man, that's a really hard one because I'm huge into movies. I probably have a million different answers for this, but let's go with Rambo because he's just the ultimate badass where I am not. So I think it would be cool to experience that level of badassness at least once. So yeah, final answer, Rambo. Okay, this question comes from Tony, and it says, what was the last book you read? Okay, here's the thing about me and books. I don't read them that often. Honestly, the most I've actually probably just sat and read was whenever I went to jail. I only spent 45 days in jail. This was 6 years ago. But I read 6 books in that time period. And that's probably the most I've ever read in a short amount of time. Honestly, I cannot remember the last actual book that I sat down and read from cover to cover. Let me get back to you on that one. Okay, the very beautiful Amy asks, thoughts on supernatural things, aliens, ghosts, etc. Okay, yes, I believe in aliens, and yes, I believe in ghosts. Now, aliens, there was a time in my life when I was way into that kind of thing. I've read and I've watched some really convincing stories from other people who claim they've seen UFOs. I've seen live footage of UFOs that looks pretty damn real. But nowadays it's kind of hard to determine if something's real or fake, because you can make almost anything look real nowadays. But I mean, the stuff I've seen, I'm convinced. So yes, I do believe there's aliens out there. Now ghosts, as in like your spirit living on, I totally believe that. I feel like everyone has this spirit that's just trapped inside of this meat suit, and I believe that this physical part of you dies, there's a part of you that lives on. Now whatever happens to that spirit or ghost after that point, I don't know, but I do believe that it lives on, and I do believe there's cases of people's spirit like sticking around and hanging out and messing with people and just doing whatever spirits do. I don't know. Okay, Johnny asked, do you think you've ever met a serial killer or a murderer in your life? All right, I don't know about a serial killer, but I've definitely met a murderer or two. I know that for a fact. I know a few people who have openly admitted to me that they've killed people, either out of self-defense or a bad situation, and yeah, I don't know. But I don't think I've ever met a serial killer. But do you really know if you've met a serial killer? Okay, now Jeannie says, I already had a question for you. Now the real question is if you will remember it and answer. I don't remember. I think it was about a movie, but I can't remember, honestly. Sorry, Jeannie. Okay, Teresa asked, if you woke up tomorrow as an animal, what animal would you choose to be and why? Man, what a question. Well, as a vegan, I'd have to say a cow or a pig or a chicken, just so I could experience what they go through. I'm just kidding. Of course, I wouldn't want to be that. That'd be terrible. Honestly, probably a big bird, like an eagle or an owl or a hawk, something huge that can fly. That would be the best. To be able to fly would be the best. But alright guys, that's it for Q&A Wednesday. Sorry if the beginning of the video was a little too deep for you. That's just how I felt at the time, and I will quit my job sooner rather than later. Also, a real quick announcement, I'm going to be getting back into like the whole vlog side of things, like the actual vlog instead of Q&As and story time. Those are still going to be in there, but I'm going to start bringing my camera with me everywhere like I used to. I know I implemented the Q&A and the story time to make more videos, but that's all the videos have been for like the last 6 vlogs is Q&As and stories. And yeah, so more to come, and I really hope you guys like this. Let me know by hitting that thumbs up button and comment. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Let's build this thing into like something a lot bigger. But okay, that is it. I'll see you guys next time.
That's it.